everyone, this is Daren with Madcap Toys. We're going to do something a little bit different today. You're a little bit further back, that's okay. I'll try to draw you a little closer in here. Setting it up so I can talk to you, get a little work done at the same time. Try to kill two birds with one stone. Let me get on here. I'm going to report to some of you guys that have been asking me that I'm way behind, and I do apologize to you guys that try to correspond with me personally about numbers and sharing and thoughts and ideas on what we should do about our stores and how we ought to, you know, just sort of attack the problem. Let me see. Who is this? I don't know why I get that. Okay. All right, let's go here. Okay. I've been talking to various people, Jack being one of my friends. He's sort of become, in some ways, sort of like a co-confidant, buddy. Back and forth online. I've got several friends here and there that I talk to, and you know, I trust their words somewhat more than others, but I want to deal with him a little bit and just sort of answer his questions a little bit or reply to a few things because I'm sort of falling behind. There's just been so much going on. We have had, as many of you know, and I've shown a lot of it, shown a few shorts. I got a few more shorts I want to show you on my cars, which we just got reamed on that by the insurance. I'm not real thrilled with them. And now I've got to have my roof repaired. I've got to have, hopefully my siding will get repaired because we got some cracks on the side of it from the stones that come down, and basic huge ice balls the size of golf balls around here, and some bigger. My shed that we have a lot of our storage in right now, the one we call the Madcap Toys barn, toy barn. It got roof damage and door damage. I'll try to show you guys that in time. I'm trying to do so many shorts at a time so you guys sort of know what's taking up my time, especially people like Jack and some of my closer friends, because it's been impossible to hardly even breathe with all that's going on lately, and I'd like to get a few things on as well. Jack's been telling me he's fine as of this point of this message. He's been working on some of his eBay, and he's coming up with some ways to market and try to save a little bit of money. May lead to more direct sales, and that's something we was talking about, various marketing schemes, not huge in-depth subjects, but just some ideas that we was all coming up with. I was talking to him, and I won't give the other guys' names because I haven't got their permission. I don't even have Jack's permission, but you know, I've talked to him for a while, and I don't think he'd mind because he's free to always comment on my videos or anything else. He said that he's just basically pretty much like the rest of us. I mean, a lot of guys have been saying, Daren, why are you not putting out those videos to get the views? You know, the videos that are naysaying videos. Guys, after a while, if you're a person like me, you get tired of negativity. You get tired of beating a dead horse. And at this point, to me, watching my buddies like James and a few other guys that I talk to here and there, and Kathy talks to, and other venues as it is, it gets old. You know, after a while, eBay, you're going to either get up and do the job, or you're going to go out of business. And you know what? You and I, as sellers, will have to just adapt and find somebody else, because you know what? Like right now, Mercari their sales have blow, okay? But I'm not going on about Mercari because at the end of the day, I don't have to pay Mercari every day for nothing. All right, I pay Mercari to perform a job. I pay Poshmark to perform a job. When I'm on Whatnot, I pay Whatnot to perform a job. If I get on Whatnot, my stuff sucks and nobody wants it, that's on me. But you know what? I know, having done this for 22 plus years, that my stuff doesn't stink. I know that other people's stuff that's done this for 22, going on, etc., their stuff doesn't stink. We couldn't do it and have this long of a tail behind us of experience and dynamic cells. I mean, let's face it. I have had, when I was a big dog for my first couple of years, I put my whole foot forward into eBay. I could have sometimes $22,000 to $28,000 days. And I don't know if they kept track of all those sales or not, because they don't reflect in my totals that I have now. I don't know when they started it, but my first few years when I was selling a lot of coins, I was kicking it. I could bring in $3,000-4,000 a week, no problem. I sold silver Morgans. I sold 10th ounce coins. I sold silver rounds at the time. I sold silver piece dollars, silver, I keep saying I hate that, but Walking Liberties, Ben Franklin's, Washington's, just go through the list, all right? Even silver nickels and silver Roosevelts and silver Mercury dimes and Barber dimes and Barber halves, Barber quarters. You can just go down through the list. I sold thousands of dollars of that. 1 year. 1 year, and this is why I know they're not including this all in my total. I sold $151,000 in 1 year of silver and gold coins, mostly silver, on eBay. If you look at my total amount of sales on the site now, it barely reflects over that. I mean, I'm over it, but it's almost like I've done nothing. Since then. So I don't know what they're keeping count of. If after so long they flush out a certain amount, I don't know. I don't even care. Because at the end of the day, I got my totals, and that's what matters to me. So if they lose everything and we start over because of some stupidity, what else is new, right? It seems like we're having to start over all the time by begging people for sales and making stupid offers. And I heard a couple of guys the other day that was discussing back and forth. It's like, dudes, I have a limit to what I'm going to advertise and what I'm going to offer customers. It's only going to go so far, because at the end of the day, I got to make enough money to pay my bills, pay myself, pay my wife. If I have grandkids working with me, pay them to help do whatever job they're doing. If I have to pay a team or a crew to help me mow a yard, or to cut down trees, or to ship with me and all these various things. I mean, there's all kinds of jobs that we do here. This all goes into the business because it's all business related. When the business takes over everything you do in your house, your storage locations, and your sheds, and just on and on and on, it's business related after a while, guys. You feel like Madcap Toys owns the house, and who's Daren Lester? Who's Kathy, right? I mean, come on. But I do live here, but you couldn't tell it sometimes. But he said he understands the psychologies of selling, and that we have a lot of experiences that we deal with. He's dealt with a lot of antique booths, and in some areas he's made $15,000 to $2,000. I've had antique booths myself. Usually that venue for me will vary, like he says, at least bottom dollar. I think I made one time $750. The high end I think was about $4,000, and it would swing in between there, and I'm talking a very large swing. Now, in other venues, depending on the venue and the traffic flow of that venue, of that site, I have had some stores that I was in for 3 months and said, that's just not worth my time, because you're looking at $200 a month or $150 a month. And some people say that's worth it. Not when the rent's $125 a month for the location. So you're giving profit away to people, and they're getting 5% on top of it a lot of times, or 3.5%, or whatever the current going rate is at the time when I did it. He's looking at his projections. And guys, I do want to apologize. I had to add this into it because we just had the camera shut off. and I don't know what's going on with that, but here lately it seems like my camera will just at various odd and freaky times just magically delicious shut off, and you're like, hey, am I talking to the moon or the wind or the stars or the planets? I mean, I'm trying to talk to you. So if I say something and it doesn't make sense at the last video, I am sorry, because I'm not crazy. It just stops. But anyway, he's telling me that on average the last 2 weeks, from what he can tell, he should be netting about 4 to 5 a month by the end of the year, which is very, very good. All because eBay forced him to go back to a brick and mortar front store. In other words, he'll be doing more money through booths than he ever did through eBay in 24 months. Now, I'm going to tell my brother here, Jack, I understand 100%. The shop video he shows me, what he showed me, to me, looks good. I've had shops that look like that, and I've dealt with shops that look pretty similar to it, and just the setup, the merchandise and all have you, looks really good. I'm not going to show you guys the video because this is his video, and I don't want to take and do something that could affect our relationship in any way without permission. I do believe, speaking to Jack, that eBay is forcing a lot of us sellers to consider another brick front store, which I have done a lot, and I'm still at the point I will, if I need to, do it again. Now, for newer sellers, that may be a harder issue because coming up with inventory is difficult. I really wish, to be honest with you, I had a partner or so that a guy could just sit down, plan, come up with it, and we can say, hey, this is your ball, this is my ball. We work together, but we sort of have our own specialties, and we try to come up with what's good for the common good of the team, as it was. But yeah, I agree with him. eBay is pushing us to other venues, to seek other venues. That's why I'm doing with Kathy McCary. That's why we're doing Poshmark. We're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, we hope, and we've kept saying this, we just haven't been able, with everything that just keeps flooding on us, primarily with weather, guys, and a little bit of business, but mostly weather events, to get another Whatnot show going. And if you're a reseller, you're going to want to see that, because we're going to be starting everything that I'm aware of at this time, unless something rare or just really outstanding comes on. We're going to be starting everything at $3, and we're going to be moving some products that some of you guys could take and get real cheap to take and offer to your buyers, because we've got so much of it that we just need to get a lot more room. Let's also look here. He says you can put 1,000 LPs on a table, 600 below, that he's going to have stacked basically, from what I'm reading, in boxes to sort of finger through, like comics and stuff. On nearly empty shelf, you can put about 1,845s, which is the smaller disc for you guys that don't know. I'll move things around and put on another 1,800 on the shelf next to it. He's going to get rid of some of his books via eBay, because books seem to sell, depending on who you are, unless you're just a total bookstore. Some of us sellers have a little bit of problem moving books, I'll just put it that way. And he's going to put, from what I'm understanding, DVDs into place, but he's wanting to have thousands of DVDs, which I think is very intelligent, up by the end of the month. CDs, he looks to be aiming at, I'm just going to say with CDs and cassettes, about 1,000 of those, which is good numbers, especially if they're in good condition. You can make a lot of money via CDs and cassettes. I know one of our friends sells a ton of cassettes. I mean, now the average price seems to be anywhere from $5 to $10. You're not going to get rich a lot of times, but if you are consistently hitting the ball and bringing the money home to mama, she's going to be happy. You're going to be able to make a living, because guys, you have to consider that if you're making $20 an hour, you do 8 hours a week or a day, you're looking at what, 10 is 200, so let's just round it to $200 a day. If you bring in $200 a day times 5, you're bringing in $1,000. how much money can you bring in selling X amount of CDs and DVDs, especially if you have an established venue. That's the key, the established venue. Now, if you're starting off in a new venue, oh, you're hurting, baby. You're hurting. Because that can be hard. Now, sometimes those new venues can be great, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Hopefully it's not a flash in the pan venue. He's saying this spot, the guy's going to move out of it at the end of the year. He wants to get his space. He's got the shelving that he can bring up from where he's at. Again, 6,000 LPs, 2,000 CDs, 6,000 45s, 2,000 DVDs, 500 cassettes, sets, and 600 cookbooks. Those can sell. Cookbooks are good. The reason I like to talk to people like Jack and some of my buddies like that is because, guys, these guys have stuff, okay? They're like us. Some of them may be bigger than us, all right? Because I'm not talking necessarily the scale of the store or the dollar amount in the store, but the venue product that they have is like us in a lot of ways. They don't have everything on, but their dollar amount is still good, and they still move enough stuff to make a living, pay bills, hire people if they need it, whatever, rent spaces. And that's important for us as sellers. He says what all of us is thinking, that he wished eBay would just figure out what in the world the issue is. Okay? And the last part I added on to it, but you know, we talked and we just having good conversation. I'd be able to talk to him about 30 minutes, 45 minutes for a couple of days, and then I have to get off because I got to go pick stuff up and do jobs that's related to this business and life, and you know how that goes, grandkids. And then we had that storm that just run everything. So I'm hoping this will make up a little bit for it. This is a few days ago, so I'm not going to release the date. I'm not going to give the sales amounts that he's talking about because this is personal between us, and we keep our numbers pretty much between us. His sales a few days ago just sucked. His sales at the point of the writing of this message sucked. And I feel sorry for him because we had talked, and I told him what I have been doing, which is promoting my listings. I'm not using what I call, and it's only me that calls it this, so if you're another eBay seller and you don't like it, tough shit. Okay, but this is what I call it. So if you're my follower and you understand my terminology, that's fine, because that's all it is, terminology. eBay will change it in 3 years. All right. eBay Promoted Plus. I use eBay Promoted Listings. That's all they need. That's all they need. I don't care if it's 1% or 15%. I don't need to advertise on top of advertising on your site. That's bull. I'm already paying for a store. I'm already paying final value fees. I'm already paying a shipping fee. Just go on through the fees and keep looking and see what else you're paying. I don't need to keep paying fees on fees. That's bull. I'm not going to do that. Promoted Plus. All right. We have discussed, he said, and I can see because of his numbers where he's getting his point of view, guys. About how he's given good descriptions, good pics, good titles. Offered multi-quantity listings. And I agree. He's given me basically a blowdown here, which tells me he feels like our problem and others that we've discussed, because he talks to others, I talk to others. One of the areas we're having a big agreement on in roundabout ways, we're looking at a little bit different, but basically the same. We don't believe it's how much you're advertising at, or we're advertising at, but who's paying the highest advertisement. In other words, you sell something at 5% ad rates, somebody else has it at 10, they're going to get it. I'm going to be honest with you, they're not going to be in business long, But a lot of people are thinking that if they out advertise other people and outlast them, they'll go out of business. But what a lot of people don't really understand, that's not done this for very long, and most of these people doing that are newbies, there's always someone else. Someone else will pick it up and say, hey, I can sell that on eBay. Then they get into this nightmare. Let's see. He's decided to move his plan, taking his stuff, going to write up a spreadsheet, add another 5,000 and probably up to 15,000 by the end of the year, and try to do a little advertising on Facebook, which from what I can see be a good idea. Mail listing if is available if possible. But if I'm reading it right, from what he's doing, and again, please keep in mind, guys, I'm trying to paraphrase because I don't want to give all the details he's given me here, and I want to keep a little bit of trust there because we're friends. Basically, he's going to try to undercut because of losing eBay fees, which he should be able to do logically at 20 to 30% lower price. That'd be good because I've seen some of his stuff. I've heard. All right, back again. Let's go on. He said the list will have QR codes leading people to all his other social media and platforms that he's working on, setting up, etc. Okay, he's going to try to basically franchise it, and don't take that the way it sounds. So in the last 4 days, he's had 209, 205, 202, and today 149 views on some of his pages. He hasn't ended and sold similar for about 6 days as he wants to test a theory, which is eBay will only give a certain number of views a day. Today, for instance, he's in and around 205 in range of items. And when that happens, you won't get nothing afterwards. And he won't sell anything in that amount of views. So he feels like it's basically screwing him over. And I can understand that. I have seen some of the similar. Now, I don't know how long he's running these things. I will not relist nothing until it hits at least 91 days. Then after that, I list so many at a time, or Kathy does, whoever's on that duty day. Because basically, I don't want to give these guys free money for nothing. You know what I mean? He said he's basically just rounded it up. He and I also were talking about how we feel eBay has been padding numbers, as in total views. We think they're bogus because I basically know, and other sellers can verify this if they watch this, and they may or they may not. Some people say they love me, other people don't, but my views will go up to thousands of views, 24 views, depending on what period of year it is, right? So at times I'm king of the world, other times I'm the janitor, so you know how that goes. But I'm here for whoever's here, guys. I don't really care, right? But he says he no longer has a clue about the rules on eBay, what they are, what makes it basically work. And basically he thinks two things, and I agree with him. eBay's becoming basically a pay-to-play place. And I agree. And I think eventually that will fail. I like talking this way to people more than I like typing because I hate to type. But I agree with him. And I'm going to tell you, if eBay gets to that, it's going to eventually, price itself out of business because they seem to forget this one rule. You as a seller, I as a seller, we have to make so much money to stay in business. If we don't make reasonable profit, we can't pay people to help us. We can't pay people to help us list. We can't pay people to help us find, pay people to help us go ship the products. We can't pay people to pack our products with us. We cannot buy the merchandise. We can't afford to stay home and put the merchandise on. I'm not going to do eBay and have to have a full-time job. I've done that, been there. My wife's, doing a side job right now, but she's got a license, so don't let it go to waste, right? But most of us that do this and have done this for 22 or so years, we know what we're doing. This is not on us. This is not on you guys. If you're struggling, all we have to do is figure out how to work around eBay being an idiot. And, that's the problem. I may have to do another video like this because I don't think, because of all that's going on and what I'm talking about today, I'm going to be able to do the topic I wanted to do, or topics. And I don't want to have a 3-hour video for everybody because, I'd rather splice it up so you guys don't get bored, because I do really appreciate you guys' views. And guys, if you got comments or questions, feel free to put it down there, because even if I can't get it or I don't see it and I don't answer it, there are people like Jack and people like James and other people that will answer it, and they'll be right. What you want to watch out is people that want to take you from other people's channel and steer you to them, because those people have a cultish mentality. Be very careful on that. If somebody's always saying, I got the solution to this or that, guys, if somebody has a solution, most of us that are connected together will point you to that person and say, check that out, because that video will have value. You don't have to go advertise your video. I know this from experience. If a video has value, people come to it. And, they go to it just like salmon. They go up the stream, It says he's netted more than this week at his antique booth than he's grossed on eBay. I believe that. He's got 4,400 on eBay, and they just don't show him because he's not willing to pay more. I agree, and I believe that. And yes, I'll continue to post and expand on eBay, but once again, he's hit a certain point that he's wanting to maintain, and basically I'm going to put it in here in my language, and grow for himself, because it takes years to fix all the bugs in and out the system, get rid of the crazy CEO of the company, and once that individual's gone, it takes years for a new guy to come in, or gal, to fix the mess that they created. All right. I'll skip that because he gets into little things I don't really want to discuss with you guys on here. It's not bad, but it's just his protection on this in case the dogs of war come out. He's also saying, like several of my friends, they sell hats like us, t-shirts, various types of clothing, various sizes, men, women, kids, etc., to see if it'll help him somehow. And I think that Jack really does need, like all of us, to try to expand our bubble of merchandising, because it seems like what worked for us, eBay's pushing us to the fringes. So you pretty much got to be like this, guys, with your fingers out and your toes out, trying to get every little bit of sand in between them, because if you don't, you're going to be sucked out to sea. He's got it right. Hats can usually sell about 10 to 1. And from what you can pick them up if you're in a good area, I'll put it that way. And if you have a good market base where there's a lot of people out there that are selling your hats, I'll put it like that. I know what he's talking about, but for you guys that aren't quite so good, he's also wanting to get back into video games, which I think is extremely good idea. He looks like he's wanting to do the Atari 2600, which is a good system for those of you that are younger, and a ColecoVision, very good system. I think, James, or Jack, you can make some money on that. Now on this sales, I'll have to get with him, but I'm thinking he's saying that he thinks eBay is going to lose about 250 in sales off of him. And I'll be honest with you, I agree, because I've seen his stuff. I've heard his stuff. I've seen his videos of some of the demos he sent me, of some of his recorded music. It's great. I like a lot of that old jiving music. I like some of those old 20s hit songs that they have, you know, the Flapper Girls and all that stuff. I like that stuff because, you know, it's just something you don't hear today all the time. It's just different. I'll put it that way. He has some points because he believes they're going to lose about $50,000 in fees, let alone without any promoted listings at all that they would have got from this. And he's going to be selling it directly to the customers. And that's going to cost them. That's going to cost eBay. And he's got a point that I'm going to just run off here. If he sells something at 10, 8, etc. and so forth, you know, think about that, guys. That's not big money for eBay or big money for Jack or big money for me or big money for you. Guys, that's money. If you go by the average person today, and I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to be off a little bit. If the average person today makes $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, I don't know what area, category, part of the country you're in, one record is an hour's worth of wages, not counting fees, for one person. All right. And what eBay seems to have forgot about myself, Jack, James, Lonnie, etc. and so forth is we're not in this to get rich necessarily today. Yeah, we all like money, don't get me wrong. And I haven't talked to some of these guys directly like that. Your goal is, and our goal was to get to where we could sell on our own, make our business. We've done it. Be successful. If you've done it for 20, 21, 22 years, 10 years, 5 years, you're successful, especially if you're at home doing it. So you've done something right. You're not a complete idiot, right? It's just flabbergasting to me that we could get to a point, and it seems like that's as high as you're allowed to get, because these guys at eBay are always trying to figure out how to take a little bit more out of your pie side, and they never seem to be happy with anything. They never seem to be happy to leave well enough alone. Look, I understand. I've done this, guys, that business has to upgrade. I understand things may have to evolve. I understand that things may have to change. But the problem with eBay, they always change the wrong things. They never fix what needs to be fixed. Like, for instance, letting us have more control of our own business. Letting us say, yes, we'll sell to you, or no, we won't sell to you until after something bad's happened. How come, eBay, you won't get your ass up and fix, if somebody sends me an offer, how come I can go to Macari, somebody makes an offer to me, and I accept it, that it's paid for right then, right there. This is one of the things on Macari I was going to discuss compared to eBay. How come, eBay, when somebody makes an offer to me, they don't have to put no skin in the game. It goes into the unpaid pile. Why in the world, you being the big bad you are, eBay, you don't make them put their money on the line? If they send me an offer and say, I'll pay $8 for this action figure, or for this Hot Wheels, or $3 for this or that, they have to put that up plus shipping. I don't understand it. You're so behind the times. You're straining at the gnat, but you're swallowing the whale, dude. You would make so many more fees, eBay, if you just start making people co-sign for an offer. Now, some of you guys out there, I don't really give a shit, okay? Some of you guys out there, and I'm sorry for the language, especially some of you guys that are a little different, okay? I don't want to say it that way. That are more conservative, all right? I don't mean to come off wrong. I got good people that I know. But I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of this is BS. BS. My child, when they was 3 years old, could figure this out. You want to increase sales, here's the deal. If they send me an offer, they have the money to buy it. I shouldn't have to wait 3 days to get paid for a product. Huh? Can I get an amen for that? I shouldn't have to wait three days, sometimes 4, to get paid for a product. If you make me an offer, you're telling me you got the money right then, right there. If you make an offer, you're bound to the offer. You don't get to come back 4 days later and say, oh, I found it somewhere else cheaper. No, you made me an offer. You can ask to cancel, but guys, in 3 days, usually we got our stuff shipped out. So the answer is going to be 99% no, because we try, because eBay gets you coming and going. If you don't get it out, they give you a ding, right? If you get it out, then you might make somebody mad. Well, too bad. Somebody's going to get mad at me no matter who it is, eBay or the other guy or gal, you know? But to me, I'm sorry. Something has to give. eBay needs to worry about taking care of the sellers more than taking care of buyers with zero feedback. All right? If a person has zero feedback, then 2 things have happened. They've just turned 18, so they're going to have to learn soon and quick how to deal with their budget and their money, keeping a job, paying bills, etc. and so forth, right? No offense. We all had to do it. One moment. Basically, guys, what I'd like eBay to do is get it where the rules are just plain and simple, okay? In other words, if I offer you a product, I send you what I show you in the picture, right? We all agree with that. I charge you a reasonable price, but the price is still set by me or whoever the seller is, and if you buy it, you've agreed to it. No griping, no complaining, all right? I'd also like to get it and make sure that the shipping is fair, which we all pretty much have to deal with that issue, and protecting the product. Send people a product that's protected as best we can, and once it leaves our hands, I'd like things to be a little bit more fair, in the sense that just because something may arrive destroyed, it don't mean it's the seller's fault. There's people in between us and the other people that have handled it. We as sellers may have to deal with the problem, but somehow we need to be protected and insured, because eBay is charging us a fee on the shipping. So the insurance ought to come through eBay, because I'm going to tell you what, half the time my post office won't protect us if something goes awry, right? If you have that problem, put it in the comments. Like to know. You know, things happen in life. We all understand that. Issues happen. We all understand that. But at the same time, I don't understand why a small site like Mercari can sit there and have somebody like, okay, me. I buy off of Mercari. I bought off of one of the followers of my channel on Mercari just this last week. I bought off and said, hey, we watch your channel, your videos, some. It's like, hey, thank you so much. I won't give their name because I didn't get permission to use their personal name. But I got the product, very good product. I'll show you. See. And I'm going to even do a video on this product because they offered a good price on the product. And it's the IG-11 from the Mandalorian series, Star Wars Disney. But I'm going to be doing a video on that product, basically a demo. I bought 2 of them off of them. It was very nice product and figures and good price. I got an offer. I accepted the offer. I buy off people that support me, or try to as much as I can. If you subscribe and talk to me, I might buy off of you more, because you know what? You're around more. The people that get attention are the people that are there, right? But, you know, guys, on eBay, when I put in an offer to him, I had to pay, like buy it now on eBay. Usually if somebody likes something, wants to buy it now, how come, like on Mercari, when I put in an offer, it's either going to come out of my cash that I have in my reserve on Mercari, or it's going to come off of a card that's going to be tied to that amount for that amount, and my offer is put in at that time and it's subtracted from my card and kept in limbo until they say yay or nay. When it's declined, it's released back to me. If it's accepted, it's taken automatically. I pay for the item, the transaction is started, and then the seller of that item or items has to ship it to me. Why can't eBay do that? What is the problem with eBay that they're so far behind everybody else? Poshmark. Many of you may sell on Poshmark like we do. They buy some, there it is, it's out, right? They got to pay right then, right there. Whatnot. How many of you guys have done Whatnot? If I put this guy up, let's say 19 bucks. If I put him up to $19, there's two things you do on Whatnot. Number one, you're going to show the item, people are going to bid it at $3. If you put it out there, you can put it, when you put it out there at, I believe it is, you can put it out there at a price and people can buy it now, or they can bid it up, start pre-bidding it, whatever. I'm not as good on that as Kathy, but I know there's ways to get things now on Whatnot. I just don't understand how the biggest, baddest site in the world, minus Amazon, can't get it together to do the things that sellers really need and really want, but yet they can always do stuff that's stupid and figure out how to add ads on ads and promotions on promotions and fees on fees, and then keep figuring out how to put more fees in there that we are already paying X amount of fees. We should not be paying 15 to 20% on everything. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. But anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to try to get a few things done today. I'm sorry that my topic stayed on me and Jack's conversation and a few other friends that I've got out there as well. I sort of included a few things that I've talked with them about. Let me see who I bought this off so I can give them hopefully a shout out. Let's see if I can find it. So I want to give them a shout out. They deserve that much. If I can figure it out. Oh man. I may not be able to figure it out. Oh my God, that's awful. Let's see here. And it doesn't help that nothing's working right. Oh, die on me, right? Right, live TV here. Yeah, right, TV. Back in the 70s. All right, there we go. There we go. Let's see who I got this from. Okay, hey, I got this product from Carolina Thrifters on Mercari. They've got 1,664 feedbacks, positive. You might want to check them out. They've got a lot of stuff on there, guys, and you know, they did me right. Shipping was good, etc. and so forth. So, you know, I appreciate the support. I'm going to send out the shout outs and the praise as best we can, because to me, my purpose here is not to be the big bad. It's to be a part of a team. And people like Jack, people that I talk to that I'm not mentioning at this time, that's how we figure out how we can win. I've done the flea market thing. I've done the storefront thing. I've done it for years. Matter of fact, like many of you guys know, and some of you may have been at our store, I've had various stores in various locations, at 5 various stores, I believe it is, if I'm counting right in my head real quick. And you make money on those stores. The problem is you want to make sure you're making money and that the government doesn't get in the way and shut you down and make you, you know, pretty much tell everyone, hey, you can't. So, you know, we just got to do what we've got to do, guys. Figure out some new ways to beat and slay the old dragon, which is eBay, and do what we have to do, how we have to do it, and hopefully we can all do it together and succeed, because that's where we will win, is outlasting this issue that we face. And like I said, I've had a lot of guys come at me and say, hey, you'll get more views if you do this or do that. But guys, I don't want to be negative Nancy. You know, I don't want that job. I like to be me and have fun and just let things go and flow, right? But I will complain if I have to. And this video is sort of one of those, but not. But it's also, I want to discuss possible solutions that me and others here and there have discussed and come up with back and forth. And we are looking for ways to beat the pig. And, you know, not feed the pig, but go around the pig, because there is other venues, other options, and other methods that you and I as sellers can do to get around this issue. So guys, I'm going to leave you right there. I do appreciate your time. I know this video has been a little bit long and I didn't get to my original topics that I wanted to discuss, but I felt it was important enough and I got involved enough that I wanted to stay on track with you on this. And I thank Jack for writing to me and being patient for my returns. And I apologize so much for being slow on the returns. So many weather issues going around in Indiana at this point. Hopefully nobody else is having to face it. I'm sure some are, but hope everyone stays safe. But if you can, give me a big old thumbs up on this video. If you can, I'd appreciate it. Give me your comment. If you got a comment, a question, and if it's not to me, say, I'd like to know blah. And maybe that person, or male or female watcher or viewer, will answer it if they're around and they see it in time. If you can, share the video. Like I said, you know, I just appreciate it. Like it, share it, comment. And guys, be sure, if you haven't, subscribe, because my viewers are important to me. I'm not just here, you know, beating against the wind. I'm here because this business matters to me. If it didn't matter, I wouldn't have done it for 22 years. I can do anything and do nothing. You know what I mean? Everyone can. If you guys can do a business on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, whatnot, etc., you can do a business anywhere. You know, it's just venue, guys. It's venue. And you've decided these venues are the best for you. Well, I want them to be the best for you. I want them to be the best for me. And I wish you all well, and I hope we can talk again real soon. I'll do another one of these videos as soon as I can and get with you and discuss a few things. You guys have a great, wonderful day. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.